All right, y'all. We are live on this beautiful Tuesday morning. God bless everybody in the name of Jesus, Yeshua, the Messiah. Even if you are not religious, I still pray you and your family are super blessed as Bitcoin has gotten a move down yesterday and a little bit of a move up today, but we're really just consolidating in what appears to be a bit of a triangular formation. And the title of the video says, do not miss this move. Live trading Bitcoin and crypto. Don't miss the next huge move. But the thumbnail says the bulls are back. Are the bulls back? Well, I mean, if we're on the 2-minute time frame, then yeah, the bulls are back, baby. I mean, if we zoom in here, would you look at this pump that we've seen overnight? Just pure blue candles, no purple. But if we zoom out, wow, it's just a consolidation. And we're going to be discussing what happens next as we come into the Fibonacci golden pocket and the value area high right here locally. We're finding a little bit of resistance. And the question everyone's wondering right now, are we going to finally break the trend line that we have here and hit that new all-time high? Because it is still very possible. As long as we're holding above 108,000, it's still very possible that we hit that next all-time high, baby. As you can see, we're still in the long trade from the setup given in the Casper Crew VIP Discord on June 30th from 105. And we did hit our first target of $110,000. Are we going to now break out after consolidation and see higher prices? That is the question everybody is wondering. Make sure to smash up the likes because, as usual, if we can get 1,000 likes within the first half hour of the stream, well, we will be giving away 1,000 United States tethers. All right? We got to give a major shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Crypto Independent. He says, I love Yahweh. Well, that's great. So do I. Shout out to Abhine Varma. Shout out to James. He says, good morning. Shout out to Lightbot. I'm short, LOL. Shout out to Keep On Grinding. How do you maintain your discipline? What discipline are you talking about, man? Shout out to Tyrone. Good morning, Jason. Have a great stream. Shout out to Crypto Independent. I just started drinking. Well, I'd recommend maybe you stop, man. I'll be honest with you. It's not the best thing in the world for you. Shout out to Byron Yatako. Byron Yatako. I will take a fake out. I need a big pump so I can swing trade 100K Doge. Why are we dumping now? Says Brian Yatako. Well, we're dumping now because we came to the 618 Fibonacci pre-New York Open. Pre-market open. And so we're finding a little bit of a resistance at resistance. I mean, that's just the way it goes. Shout out to College and Crypto. Shout out to Peeps1441. I think price action is neat. Me too. Shout out to Crypto Coons. God bless you, bro. Thank you so much for being here, holding it on down with the wrench in the chat. Why are we pumping? Asks Brian Yatako. Brian Yatako, the reason we are pumping is because we came down to the zone in between the point of control of the local range and that naked point of control that we had right here. And you can see if we turn on good old market Cipher B, that as we did come down to this area, this is the 3-hour time frame. Let's go to the 24-minute time frame. We did have bullish divergences at the support. So there's always a technical reason for everything that happens here, guys. I mean, we got support at support. We're finding resistance at resistance. It just is what it is, man, you know? If you learn this stuff, you'll be able to trade these markets as well. And if you want to learn this stuff, Brian Yatako, check out the free trading course on YouTube for free. 18 sessions, an 18-part course for free. Check it out, man. It's too good to be true, but it's true. It's true. All right, it's really free, and it'll teach you all the juicy juice that you need to know. Juicy juice, 100% juice for 100% degen traders, baby. Am I going to be a vegan? Am I going to be vegan in the future? I don't think I'm going to be vegan in the future. I don't think so, but who knows, all right? Anything's possible. Anything's possible. All the carnivores in the chat now are freaking out, and all the animal-based people freaking out, all right? Look, I like balance in my life, okay? I like balance in my life. I can't see myself realistically becoming vegan, just like I can't realistically see myself becoming a carnivore, okay? I'm all about balance, you know what I'm saying? The only time in life I hate balance is when I'm looking at uneven butt cheeks on the chart and I'm looking to see a new pump to an all-time high. Shout out to Tina D. And shout out to Pasternak88. He says, how do I buy Bitcoin when it hits 0? Simple, bro. You just pick it up on the ground for free. Are we going to 116K? There's a very good chance that we do. Sam says, mic check. How's the audio? Mic check. Mic check. 1122. Mic check. How's the mic, guys? I think the mic looks pretty good. I think we're good. I think the audio is good. Thank you for reminding me to do the sound check. What's up with the 116? We'll see. We'll see. We're going to talk. I mean, 116 is the next major Fibonacci extension target. That's why I think we can hit there. 1,000 tethers. Shout out to Juan Hernandez. That's right, 1,000 tethers. Shout out to Timmy. He says, salutations, Jason. Man, look at the, oh my goodness. Timmy, what in the world? What kind of peptides are you taking, bro? Kind of strange, insane. Look at that back. Oh my goodness. Oh my, what? That's insane, Timmy. You've been hitting the weights, I guess. That's crazy, bro. Wow. Shout out to Timmy with the juiciest back in all leverage trading. Can I explain more about Klein funding? Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, guys, we got to give a shout out to the sponsors of the channel. First of all, WEEX right now is offering an amazing deal. If you sign up with your email and phone number, you get $100 just for doing nothing. Then you get the lowest fees, period. All right, 0% limit, 0.02% taker on a centralized exchange. There's nothing lower right now. Even on MEXC. MEXC, this is as low as it gets on MEXC. Then you get a 20% deposit bonus up to $400. All right, they're really dishing it out here at WEEX. All right, then we got BLOFIN over here. BLOFIN right now is also offering 20% cash back, a chance to win all these prizes, including a watch, so you always know what time it is. And they're also offering you, if you use my link, VIP 4 fees, which is 0% limit, 0.04% market. We also got to give a major shout out to ANTARCTIC Exchange, a decentralized exchange made by traders for traders. If you trade on the exchange, you own the exchange. And if you use my link, you get the lowest fees available anywhere, period. 0% limit order, 0.015% market, even lower than WEEX, lower than MEXC. We also got to give a major shout out to Klein funding. If you know how to trade but you have no capital, this is a crypto prop firm that runs on Bitget. All right, it runs on Bitget. You do not need to KYC in order to trade with Klein funding. You just need to create a Bitget account with a VPN. All right. Now, this is awesome because if you have no capital, you can get an account. $41, you get a $6,000 account. $500, you can get a $200,000 account. You can make custom plans here. Also, an Instant Pro account means you don't have to pass a challenge in order to trade on the account. All right, you get it right away. $1,200, you get a $50,000 Instant Pro account. Now, here's the thing. If you use the links in the description of the video down here for Klein funding, you can get 25% off all standard accounts that need the challenge to pass, and then you get 15% off all the instant funding accounts that don't need a challenge to pass. So you can get 15% off. This right here, you get a $50,000 trading account for about $1,000, less than $1,000 with a 70% reward split. Of course, max drawdown on these is 6%. So these are customizable plans. All right, customizable plans. You got your basics, you got your 2 steps, you got your pros, your popular ones, like all the popular kids in high school. All right, links to all this stuff in the pinned comments after the video in the description right now. Also, we got to give a major shout out to the Casper Crew VIP Discord where we give the setups in advance. Guys, this is not a signals group, okay? I do oftentimes tell people I'm taking a trade, but this is not a signals group. This is an educational community where I'm here to teach you exactly how I'm trading so that you don't need me to tell you I'm long right now, okay? I am here literally giving you everything you need, telling you exactly when to look for that trade. All right, when we do our live streams, I walk through exactly when and how to know whether or not to pull the trigger when price comes to a level. And a lot of times I do tell people I've taken a trade, but this is not a signals group. So if you're signing up for signals, it's not a signals group. All right? It's not. It's not. I'm not telling you where to put your stop loss and where to put your take profit. I'm showing you my mentality when I'm taking a trade. And a lot of times, if I decide to take the trade, I let people know. But that's not what the group is for. Although me, self, and the other instructors often do that, that's not what the group is for. It's an educational group, the best in the world. JasonCasperTrading.com. Click the link to join the VIP Discord. The VIP Discord. All right, as the Bitcoin price right now is consolidating at the golden pocket, and we are hoping for our next move towards, in my opinion, 115 to 117,000 USD tethers. I mean US dollars. Okay. Shout out to Crypto Coon. Shout out to Cyrus118. Shout out to FitGenius618. Shout out to Yo Brando. Does Klein offer service to U.S. citizens? They offer service to everybody, bro. It doesn't matter whether or not you can trade on Bybit in your country. It doesn't matter. All right, I have a non-KYC Bybit account that I've been using to mess around with Klein. And, yeah, it basically, the way Klein works is it uses the Bybit demo trading platform as the interface. All right, so your account on Klein through API gets hooked up to the Bybit demo platform, and the demo platform on Bybit is the interface that you use to enter and exit trades and set your stop loss and take profit and all that. And then the dashboard in Klein keeps all your actual real money stuff, and then the payouts are done via PayPal or however you set that up. There's different options, right? So it's real money, but it's done via the demo trade platform as the interface, right? So you don't need the KYC. You don't actually have to put anything on Bybit. It just uses the Bybit interface. All right, so it's pretty dang cool. And honestly, the fact that they have a partnership with Bybit like that means I trust these guys a lot more, because I trust Bybit, all right? The way they handled the hack, the way Bybit handled all that stuff really shows they're on the up and up with stuff, right? They're no shady business. It happened. They took care of it in a professional way, and they're back and better than ever, baby. All right? All right. All right? All right. All right? All right. Man, I will tell you, this triangular pattern, you know, from the time we were at 110K had me feeling like this. The time me and Carl from the Moon went to McDonald's in the Maserati to order a Big Mac meal, and then I was feeling like this. On top of the world, I thought Bitcoin price was unstoppable. Then I was feeling like this, baby. Jacked and stacked, ready for up only. But then as we start to consolidate in the channel, I find myself staying up all night drinking more and more coffee from my market Cipher trading.com trading mug, not being able to sleep, just waiting for the breakout, which never happens. And then we keep dumping, and I'm starting to feel confused. Like when I was back in college, majoring in trans non-carbon binary emission gender studies. And then finally you get to the point where you're just sitting there on the bathroom floor with a sock on your head, glassy eyes, bad skin, haven't shaved in 3 hours, looking like a 12-year-old Amish kid, socks stuck on the head. What in the world is going on with Bitcoin? Well, if you've had the same range of emotions, my friends, you have come to the right place, because we are about to embark on a journey together where we take a look at this chart, okay? Now, I want to take a look at a few things here, because there's 3 major areas that we need to be concerned with. Major area number 1, we're going to start actually locally here, is this little range. This little range. Now, as you can see, we actually do have this trend line. We're holding higher lows as we consolidate here. And the low that we are holding is around, we could just say 107.5. Now, keep this level in your mind, 107.5, because it's very important support. And so far, our resistance, we've been making these lower highs, forming this triangle, okay? Now, I actually do believe, based on some higher time frame stuff, that if we do break this trend line right here, that we could see an actual breakout to hit a new high. And I'll tell you why in a little bit. But as you can see, currently, our resistance is the Fibonacci Golden Pocket, the 786. This is going to be around $109,000. A break, in my opinion, above this trend line, that really would signal to us a new all-time high. Now, this is happening within the context of a larger move. Okay, remember that this low, right down here from the middle of June, this was a very important support also. Why was this such an important support? Because this was the Fibonacci Golden Pocket retracement from the last swing low to the high. You can see it's the Fibonacci 618 golden pocket. This actually was the long trade setup that we gave in the Casper Crew VIP Discord. Took the trade, locked in the profits right from $100,000, and now we consolidate. Okay, now we consolidate. Now, this consolidation, right? This consolidation has also given us a nice looking low. All right, I want you to compare the small range right here to the larger range right here. They're kind of similar, right? We formed a range, we had a little bit of a fake out, now we're back inside the range. This low right here at $105,000 was also a very key level. So we got a bounce from very key support. We come up to the top, we get a bounce also from key support. Now we're consolidating, expecting kind of a move like this. Now also remember that this entire range here, all right? Also compare the ranges. I want you to compare because, you know, it's very interesting how you zoom out and you see the same patterns repeat over and over. This large range right here, what happened? We came down to a very key support, the support of the entire bull market. We go to the weekly time frame and we go back and look and see, wow, this literally trend line goes back to November 2022. Every single time we come to this area, we get a bounce and we turn on market Cipher B, and now we're starting to see, wow, look at this. As we did come down to hit that line right here in at the beginning of April, we printed something down here called a hidden bullish divergence. A hidden bullish divergence is as the price is trading in a trend where it's making higher highs and higher lows. You time those higher lows, right? Low, high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Technically, we've already made a higher high. You time those higher lows by when the weekly time frame bottoms out with a lower momentum wave than there was at the previous higher low. All right? It looks like this. Not like this. Like this. Not like this. You know what? I don't have a picture of what it looks like. I thought I did, but I apologize. I only have regular uneven butt cheeks. It looks like this, but in mirror mode, right? Looks like this, but in mirror mode. In fact, is there even a way for me to do some on-the-fly Photoshop? Let's see if I can do some on-the-fly Photoshop here. I think I can do some on-the-fly Photoshop. Nah, I can't do it. Dang. Well, dang. Oh, no. You know, that's okay. That's okay. We can't do on-the-fly Photoshop. But, basically, you've got the opposite of the uneven butt cheek pattern. Skinny on the left, big on the right. Now, also, as we come down to the 4-day, we are seeing, as we're printing that hidden weekly bull div, regular bull div on the 4-day. All right, this is the regular uneven butt cheek pattern. Now, this is a bullish signal, and when you see a bullish signal like that, it usually means the bottom is in, we're going to get a leg up, a retracement, and then after the retracement, we get another leg up. Okay, so far, we have had the big leg up, we've had the retracement to the key level. Remember, it was a very key zone. Let's remember the importance of the zone here. It was that area between the Fibonacci golden pocket and the 786 locally, and it was that area around the high volume node, okay, of the whole range. So we've gotten a nice retracement from a key level. And now I also want just to highlight the fact that for the last 2 weeks here, we have confirmed the weekly candle above the value area high of the range. So to me, this does look strong in the sense that we have our bottom signal on the weekly on the 4-day. We have our first leg up making a higher high, although I understand it's a swing failure pattern, right? I understand that, but it's still a higher high. I know people are going to be out there, Jason, it doesn't count with a wick. All right, whatever. Whatever, okay? I think the wicks count, all right? The wicks count, all right? Now we've gotten 2 weeks confirmed above this resistance. What we have is a breakout, close the weekly candle above, a back test of key support, and now again reclaiming that key level with literally 14 days plus holding above that, right? 16 days. About half a month we're able to hold above the resistance, okay? Now, also, when we look at the weekly time frame, what do we see? We've seen that we've just confirmed the green dot on the weekly time frame, which is invalidating the bearish divergence that this was printing here. So we had a very scary and bearish sign printing here. But now we've invalidated it. And when we go to our 4-day time frame, we also have, in my opinion, a potentially more room to the upside. We go to our 2-day time frame. I want to highlight this on the 2-day, okay? Money flow like this, in my opinion, is more bullish than bearish. When you see that we have had a money flow cross on our 2-day after an insanely bullish uneven butt cheek pattern, right? Uneven butt cheeks down here. Then we have this spiky momentum wave, continuation of momentum, and the money flow is crossing from the purple into the blue on the 0 line. This, in my opinion, is a macro high time frame bullish signal. If we just go and backtest alone, what happens when the money flow crosses from the purple into the blue on the 2-day? We'll just put a line here, okay? We'll just put lines here. Let's see, that happened over here. We'll consider this one. And we'll consider this one. All right, we'll go all the way back to 2021, all right? 2021. Let's see what happened here. Going all the way back to 2021. All right, 2021. What happens? The money flow crosses from the purple into the blue on the 2-day. And look, there's a lot of factors that come into play here. Obviously, we didn't go straight up from there. We had a bit of a retracement, but from our low, we had made that higher high. Then we end up making that higher low, and boom. We actually, from that area, ended up with a 34% pump. Now, keep in mind, this was toward the end of the cycle, just like what we see right now, all right? Toward the end of the cycle, the last few months of the bull run, which we're in right now, we still ended up with a big pump to the upside. Next time it happens, right near the end of the bear market, all right? Now, in this instance, the money flow dips back down to the purple a little bit. But my point here is that when you see this, could we have short-term dump volatility? Absolutely. But the higher-term time frame stuff is bullish. Now, once we come into the bull market, which we're currently in right now, right? That's bear market stuff. Once we're in the bull market, that money flow cross, bam, that was pretty juicy, all right? Happened again over here, bam, that is pretty juicy, all right? It's happened right here, all right? Are we seeing another one of these guys, these consolidations for weeks? I mean, keep in mind, this consolidation lasted about 24 days. Let's see how long this has lasted. Maybe it's been about the same here. Wow, that's been longer, 42 days. 42-day consolidation. Let's see how long this consolidation lasted. 34 days. Okay, so the pattern seems to be, at least in the bull market, a few days, about a month or so of consolidation, and then a big break. We've actually seen more than a month right now of consolidation, but I do have to say, all things considered, the structure, the fact that we had bullish divergence, we've changed market structure, we've come to backtest key support, we're seeing the weekly time frame print another green dot, we're seeing the money flow cross from the purple into the blue on the 2-day. I have to lean more bullish than bearish here. All right? I have to lean more bullish than bearish here. Now, what would change my opinion? What would honestly change my opinion? We need to be, in my opinion, really watching this sideways range right here. Okay? Because although I can say I'm bullish right now, you have to remember that as a trader, we are reactionary based on the data on the chart. The reason I'm bullish now is because of all the bullish factors I've just outlined for you. If things start to change, then I will have to change my bias, because that's what you need to do as a trader. You need to understand, the different scenarios and then be able to take action based on what is happening. This is how I personally trade. This is why in the Casper crew, we have a plan. This is not a signal. This is a plan, right? Where we're saying, you know what? This looks like a great place to long if I see certain things on the chart here on Market Cipher B. And if I see those things, then I can take a trade. And then because I recognize this is key support and this is a really good confirmation that we're going to bounce, then I can go ahead and take the trade and lock in the juicy profits, right? So this is what we need to remember here. As long as we're holding above $108,000, objectively speaking, this is extremely bullish, because this level, 108,000, is where for the past, going all the way back to November, all right? So let's see, for the past 230 days, that's crazy. It's like 2/3 of a year, basically. this has been anything above this level is considered overvalued. So if we're holding above what historically is considered overvalued for Bitcoin, that's telling us the market doesn't consider this overvalued anymore. If they did, they would have pushed us back down to the bottom of the range. But guess what? They had the chance to do that, but we bounced from support, and now we're back in what's considered historically overvalued. Right? Look, overvalued, push us down to the range. Overvalued, push us down to the range. Overvalued, let's see, are they going to push us down? No. And not only have they not been able to, but we've literally had 2 weeks of confirming a weekly candle close above that key level. And the weekly closes are important, man. Those high time frames don't lie, if you know what I mean. All right? They do not lie. If you know what I mean. Do you know what I mean? So, if we start to lose 108 again, and we're closed weekly candles below, then I have to assume, okay, this summer is going to be like previous summers. And the previous summers, what do they all have in common? They all have in common that we formed these ranges here, right? And it looks really bullish in the beginning of the summer, but then we eventually just lose that level and come back down to the bottom of the range, right? It looks really bullish here in June, but eventually we lose that level and come down to the bottom of the range, all right? It looks really bullish here in July, but we lose 108,000, and you have to assume that we come back down to the bottom of the range, okay? Now, when will we get our bounce? Probably we bottom out in August. Why do I say August? Because if you look at the bottoms here, these orange lines, this is August, all right? August 28th, that was the bottom for Bitcoin in 2023. August 5th, that was the bottom for Bitcoin in 2024. All right, so we have August 18th. That's probably, if we can't reclaim this now, when we get that bottom, and then we get our bounce, and then we hit our all-time high probably in the fall of 2025. In fact, what we can really expect is about 500 days after the halving, that's where our all-time high will come in, right? So for example, we have our halving in June 2020. About 500 days after that takes us right to here, which is literally the all-time high, all right? We've had our halving in April 2024. Let's see here. Yeah, on my son's birthday was the halving because I timed the conception perfectly in order to have him born on the day of the Bitcoin halving. 500 days, that's going to put us right around September 2025, all right? So that's going to put us right around September 2025. So we get our bounce in August. We rip in the fall, hit our blow off top. Very similar to what happened last year, guys, and the year before. We rip in September. All right. We rip in September. You know, we have that big top, that September, October area. All right. So look, if we start to lose 108, then we have to be aware of the previous summer pattern, which is the summer lull, as Evan Aldo calls it. Shout out to Evan Aldo. If you're not subscribed, go subscribe to Evan Aldo because that dude is a hidden gem. A hidden gem, to say the least. A hidden gem, to say the least. Altcoin season. Let's talk a little bit about altcoin season. All right, so here's the deal, guys. This is the altcoin season index, and one thing we can say for sure right now is the fact that whenever we are in Bitcoin season and we're below 25 on the index, which we are right now, historically, this is the time to be buying altcoins. In fact, according to this index, since March has been the time to be stacking altcoins. All right. And then we see altcoins pump. All right. So that being said, it looks like things are being set up right now for an altcoin season. Now, you want to be buying your altcoins in Bitcoin season. When it's already altcoin season, that's honestly when you want to be kind of selling your altcoins, right? Now, let's take a look at Ethereum and some other altcoins here, because in my opinion, we are being set up nicely for a juicy pump on altcoins. If the Bitcoin price breaks out of this range and forms another range, somewhere between, let's say, 130,000 and 150,000. That's where a lot of people are calling the top here. All right. We break out. We range here. We hit our all-time high in the fall. Right? All-time high in the fall. We range a little bit here. People think higher. Maybe, I don't know, double top or something. But eventually the bear market begins until the summer and fall of 2026. Right? We're probably going to see our real altcoin season once Bitcoin gets its first big pullback, the real pullback of the bear market, which nobody knows is the bear market yet. All right? And because that's what happens pretty much, right? Yeah, no one knows it's the big bear market beginning yet. People think, oh, it's just a pullback, and then altcoins go crazy, and everyone's like, euphoria, euphoria, euphoria. Right? But we want to see Bitcoin make another high first and then start to range. When we look at charts like Ethereum here, okay, I do just want to point out the fact that ETH, two things about it. Number one, right now, people are saying ETH is dead. A lot of you guys, even in the chat, saying ETH is a waste. Don't even waste your time on ETH. Well, here's the thing. It's the number 2 market cap crypto, period. And when people, and I'm talking like, okay, let's just be honest, all right? You're a big institution. You're buying crypto. Are you going to be buying things that aren't like already tried and true? Or are you going to be buying things like Bitcoin and ETH? Let's be real. All right, it's the number 2 market cap coin. Obviously, eventually, you know, Solana, Cardano, ETH, one of them will probably be the big winner. Or maybe they'll just all kind of exist. I think we have a little bit of time of them all existing together, right? But anyway, ETH is definitely, in my opinion, going to pump at some point. Now, when we look at the monthly chart, we have just confirmed a historic signal that we have never ever seen before. It's the first time ever that during a bull market, and I'm identifying bull market as Bitcoin is currently trading above the previous bull market top, all right? As long as Bitcoin's above $69,000, I consider that a bull market. We have seen ETH dip into bear market price territory, and we've seen it confirm a green dot on the monthly time frame below the zero line of market Cipher B. Now, this is crazy because we have never seen this before. A green dot below the zero line on market Cipher B has never resulted in a dump. This is so dang bullish. And not only that, but we've never seen it in a bull market. So this is either the most obvious buy signal in the world here, or we're all being duped and crypto as we know it is totally going to change and ETH will never pump again. And we're going to head into some like super bear cycle. Everyone's talking about the super cycle bull market. This is the super cycle bear market, okay? This is a super cycle bear market, right? We had a bear market. We couldn't even make a new all-time high. And then we just go back into another bear market, okay? So, you know, in my opinion, when Bitcoin gets the next move up, this is going to start to play out. And we are going to see ETH rip in a way that people are not prepared for, especially you ETH is dead people. All right, you ETH is dead people. You guys are not prepared for the rip that is about to happen, okay? I mean, you would expect ETH to be looking like, maybe like this, all right? Like, honestly, like you would expect, okay, right, another red dot printing on the weekly, that looks pretty bad, right? No, I'm sorry, the monthly. We are on the we are on the monthly time frame. We got this momentum, very juicy. And ETH right now, this green box, this is the doorway to all-time highs. Because once we reclaim this box, we have reclaimed major resistance. And then we are probably going to break out of this. And according to my Fibonacci targets, we're going to see ETH over $8,000. All right? And really, is that so crazy? Is it so crazy to see another 200% on ETH? Absolutely not. I mean, literally, we've just seen 100% on ETH. And people are complaining, you know, where's the ETH pump? It's 100% pump, right? From the bear market to our current top, it's been 300%. I don't think it's so crazy to expect or to be looking, considering the bullishness of this monthly time frame, that, yeah, we made our low, we made our high, we made our higher low, we make our higher high. We break out of this trend line that we've been trading now since December 2021, and we hit our Fibonacci extension targets. Now, when we look at a lot of these altcoins, we see a lot of similar things here. You know, for example, let's look at some others. I know people say these coins are dead. We already had our alt season, guys. We already had our alt season, they say. It was meme coins this year. It was Trump coin this year. All right, it was Trump coin this year. Okay, if you believe that, then disregard what I'm saying, please. But you look at other things here, like AVAX, for example. All right, AVAX right now, we are seeing bullish divergences, big time, like multiple drive here. Bullish divergence at the bottom. We are seeing bullish divergence right here at a higher low. And if we just look objectively at this chart, this is on log scale, but let's take it off log scale. Even if AVAX comes all the way down below $6, $6 comes to around $6. Even if AVAX comes to $6, all right, if we go for our high, there's 10 times more upside than downside potential here. All right, 10 times more upside than downside potential here. Now, this is not financial advice, okay? But when you first learn about trading, you see these fancy little charts that make it look so easy, right? When you first learn about support and resistance, someone shows you a chart that looks like this, okay? And then they show you this chart, all right? And you think to yourself, oh, that's it? I just buy at support and sell at resistance? It can't be that easy. I mean, this is the most like textbook at support, bullish divergence thing I've ever seen in my life. And not only that, but we've literally made our low, our high, we made a higher low. And like I said, even if we come down below right now, the bear market lows, we still have, if we're going to hit the previous all-time high, 10 times more upside than downside potential. We come to the top of this local range, we have 3.5 times more up potential than down potential, even if AVAX is dead forever and we just range in this stupid little thing between $55 and $5. There's 3.5 more times upside and downside, and that's assuming we make a lower low, right? That's even giving us a little bit of room to come and take out that low, right? So my point here is altcoin season index, Bitcoin season index is telling us, you know, historically speaking, this is the time to be accumulating altcoin-a-roonies, right? Altcoin-a-roonies. This is the time, you know, just historically speaking. And we look at these charts and we see, wow, you know, these objectively speaking are good buys. I mean, objectively speaking, if you have any hope for crypto, these are cheap, all right? If you have no hope for crypto, then whatever, right? And then we're looking at the oscillator saying, we're seeing bullish divergences. We're seeing butt cheeks upon butt cheeks, right? We're seeing it.
Let's look at market Cipher B. Do we have any butt cheeks? Oh, yeah, we have billions and billions of butt cheeks. This is going to be huge.
So, you know, let's take a look at some other assets here. Let's take a look at Chainlink. Man, Chainlink. Let's remove some drawings here on Chainlink. But, you know, Chainlink, this also, in my opinion, look at this, right? We have our support from 2020. It's our bear market resistance. We flip it now into support. It's holding support, making higher highs and higher lows. All right, so we're back down at support. We're back down at support. Our next major resistance is going to be up here. All right, from the previous bull market. All right, so what does this mean? Same Chainlink, even from right here. All right, we take the bear market lows. Take the bear market lows. There's a 2.5 times more upside potential than downside potential, 2.5 times. If we don't even make a higher high and we just come back up to our next resistance. If the low is already in here locally, we have a 4.5 times risk to reward ratio, not even to make a new all-time high. If we start to make the new all-time high, you know, you're risking 1 to make 7.5, right? You risk $100 to make 750. Now, if we hit a new all-time high on Chainlink, let's say we come up to just $75 here, you're risking 1 to make 11, right? So these are some really good risk to rewards as we're seeing these altcoins at support. You know, a lot of times it's crazy to me because you'll have people talking like I'm talking now at the end of a bull market. Like people were talking like that up here about Chainlink, right? And people always want to talk bullish at the top, but then when you talk bullish when things are literally at support, I mean, people say, oh, no, it can't be, like, you know, you fool, you know, it's dead, crypto's dead, altcoins are dead, our altcoin season's dead. All right, okay. I cannot argue if that's your view. I can't argue. But when I look at a chart like this, when I look at the ETH chart, when I look at the AVAX chart, when I look at the Chainlink chart, it looks kind of bullish to me. Now, Solana, I have to be honest with you, doesn't look nearly as good as these other coins because we saw such a big pump from 2023. You know, we saw a 1,500% pump and we made a new all-time high. So Solana is a little bit different here. But even still, if we're going to see an altcoin season, then we can look at this box as the range in which to be accumulating SOL. And again, I'm going to interpret the SOL chart through the lens of everything else I've just looked at. But objectively speaking here, the only support that we had after the big pump was this here, right? The only real support that we had was this consolidation right here. And the reason for that is because other than that, we just have pure nothing, like pure liquidity, like literally we could take that easily. So we found support, at support, we formed a range, we took the lows of the range, so we did a liquidity grab. Now we're back in the middle of the range, okay? That's the kind of, this looks like probably one of those week off accumulation zone 2 cardio patterns. This is definitely a week off accumulation zone 2 cardio pattern. All right, low intensity steady state cardio pattern here. About to break up. Let's take a look at XRP as well. Man, XRP. I mean, this is basically this is my plan for XRP, to be honest. I'm looking also at the same deal like for SOL, XRP. We've got a hidden bullish divergence right here. After taking the liquidity of the range, all right, we're forming right now one of these guys, all right? We're forming right now one of these guys. What is this? This is a falling wedge, a bullish pattern. We're seeing a bullish pattern form after we have this nice accumulation where we formed a range, we took the lows of the range, we made a higher high locally, we came for the back test from the Fibonacci Golden Pocket 786, and we're starting to get a bounce, all right? Once we come above $2.40 on XRP, we're going to be flipping this old high volume node from resistance into support. Let's extend it to our present day here. It stayed the same. Once we flip 240 into support, that's extremely bullish. It means the majority of the volume is below us, and we're probably going to pump back up to the top of the range. And then we've got some fib targets up here at a $550 XRP. Also, just look at this here locally on XRP. As we're forming this bullish falling wedge, we're seeing the money flow getting thicker on Market Cipher B, and we're seeing a hidden bullish divergence here. Like locally, we're seeing a hidden bullish divergence from April until June. Hidden bullish divergence on the weekly. So we saw a hidden bullish divergence from October 2024 until April 2025. And then we're seeing a bullish divergence again, double drive from April 2025 until June 2025. Looks kind of bullish. Now again, if you think all these coins are dead, whatever, man. But here's the deal. Bitcoin gets another pump. Bitcoin breaks out of its range. Starts to consolidate above $117,000. All the signs right now are pointing to these altcoins looking bullish. The altcoin season index says it's time to buy altcoins. And we're seeing some historic bullish signs on assets like Ethereum, all right? We're seeing some bullish signs on assets like Ethereum. Now let's check out Bitcoin here. What a crazy stream it's been for Bitcoin. Oh my goodness, can you guys believe how much Bitcoin has moved since the beginning of the stream? It's amazing. All right. It's amazing. Shout out to Splashbar Films in the chat. Shout out to Tim Malucky. Suey. I got an itchy... I gotta shave this mustache, man. I gotta shave this mustache. We should take a look at Suey. Man, I wish I could grow more of a beard, guys. You know. I always thought when I was 35, I'll be 35 in less than... I'll be 35 in a month. I always thought when I was 35 I'd have more of a beard. But sadly, I haven't even gone through puberty yet. Alright? Let's take a quick look at Suey. I know a lot of people are super bullish on SUI. I've seen the thumbnails too. Let's put it on log scale. I like to do my high time frame analysis on log. So, SUI, what do we know about it for sure? Resistance flipped into support. Shout out to my man, Dem Oz, for the super chat. Resistance flipped into support. And we are right now forming a triangle. Bouncing from the golden pocket 786. Money flow thickening on the weekly. So, given the bounce here, I would say that this is a potential. And look, this is not something I would do. I'm just saying this is a real potential here. And the reason why I say this is a potential is because if we're forming a triangle that is going to break out, hang on, we can't do this on log scale, but if we're forming a triangle that is going to break out here, let's pull it off log scale to get our measured move. Whoops. I hate how the add text here makes it hard to drag a trend line. Alright, if we are going to break out of this, we've come down basically to, we've made a higher low, we've come down and bounced from the Fibonacci golden pocket with actually a pretty nice looking weekly candle. It's not the best, but what really is catching my eye here is this weekly money flow that's getting thicker as the momentum wave is starting to pinch off. Alright, to be really safe here, and I'm talking like, you know, we're dealing with like spot, but if we really want to be safe, then we need to allow for a potential liquidity grab of these higher lows, right? But there is a potential also that this is a higher low already, and that we could shoot for the breakout. All right, this is not the type of trade I usually take unless I'm scalping it, in which case I get a ninja entry from one of these fib levels. All right, but this is high time frame stuff. And based on everything that we've seen here, which is, you know, bullish divergence on the weekly, change of market structure, a back test of resistance as support, a bounce, now we've got a retracement into the key Fibonacci levels. This is a potential here on SUI. Let's check out our 4-day. Alright, so even on the 4-day, this looks like a really nice bottom. And this looks like a continuation wave, but the money flow doesn't look so good on the 4-day. Let's go to the 2-day. Okay, so on the 2-day, the 2-day actually looks really nice. Actually, the 2-day money flow is crossing right now. Last time we saw a 2-day money flow cross, it was right here. All right, it was right here. So, yeah, I have to say it does look nice on the 2-day. It looks nice on the weekly. This is, I'd say, this is not the most high probability setup here, but it definitely is a valid setup for spot position because you need a 24% stop loss for a 146% move up. So we're talking like 6-to-1 risk-reward ratio right here. But honestly, a better setup for anything is always going to be what wrecks the most people, right? So wherever you see that actual liquidity, which in this case is going to be $1.5983 on Binance, that would actually be like if we do something like this and we reject again from the trend line, we come down, lose it. This would actually be the best long trade to take here, right? Where stop loss wherever we wick down to. Once you see that we've reclaimed 159.83, that's where you would really want to. That would be the best trade setup, right? This is a decent trade setup. We're assuming right now that the bullish divergence here, the bounce, and then the higher low with the money flow cross is actually going to lead to the breakout. That's what we're assuming here. But we have to make a lot of assumptions because we understand that there's still like liquidity below us. So yeah, as long as your risk management's on point, and especially if you're on spot, I'd say, hey, you know, this is not the worst idea in the world, but be prepared to come down below $1.5983, because if we do that, not only would it scare a lot of people that we're losing major support. I mean, you got to think about this. People would be freaking out. that we're losing support. But also, you know, you got to think in terms of like what a market maker would do. If you want to buy an asset, you need a lot of sellers. If I have $5 trillion and I want to buy $5 trillion worth of Jason Casper portraits, if there's nobody selling Jason Casper portraits, I'm out of luck. Doesn't matter how much money I have. So, you know, let's pretend Suey is Jason Casper portraits. When we come down here, people are probably going to be panic selling their Jason Casper portraits, which means the market makers with their $5 trillion looking to buy Jason Casper portraits are going to have a whole bunch of sellers. Now they're going to pump the Jason Casper portraits all the way to a new all-time high. You know, this is the portrait that they're buying and selling here. All right, this really is me, by the way, guys. You can tell. You know, and you can tell there's no Photoshop here either because of how crisp the lines in the background are. But you know, that is a real picture of JC, the Casperonian queso. Make sure to smash the likes, guys, because, well, we have over 7,000 people in the chat. Over 7,000 people in the chat, only 3 likes. In every stream, we say we'll do a $1,000 giveaway if we get 1,000 likes in half an hour, but just a quick reminder, guys, that WEEX is literally offering the best deal. Sign up with your email and phone number. They give you $100 to trade with without any deposit. Lowest fees on a centralized exchange, 0% limit order, 0.02% taker order. Amazing for scalping. 20% deposit bonus. All right, they're giving you money to trade, even if you don't do anything. All right. We also got to shout out BLOFIN, which is offering 20% cash back and also low fees, 0% limit, 0.04% market. Chance to win all these prizes. We got to shout out ANTARCTIC, decentralized exchange. Don't worry about your account being hacked or stolen or frozen because you keep all the money on your own hardware wallet or hot wallet. And the fees are so low if you use my link, 0% limit order, 0.015% market order. Plus, if you trade in the exchange, you get paid because you're providing liquidity. So we all share in the liquidation fees and the actual fees. The ecosystem is built to support each other trading. No market makers involved. We support each other. Also, we got to shout out Klein funding. Again, Klein funding, 15 and 25% discounts in the description. All right. For 41 bucks, you could have a $6,000 account, split the profits 40%. You could customize this. Right, you could even do a 100% profit split. 70 bucks, you can get a $6,000 account, but I have a 25% discount on this. All right, 25% discount. They also have their Instant Pro accounts where you don't have to pass the challenge in order to start trading. So you don't have to pass the challenge to get funded. You get funded immediately. $50,000 account, 1,200 bucks, 15% discount in the description. All right, use these codes, Jason15 and Jason25, to get those discounts. In fact, links to all this stuff, guys, is in the description. Also, the Casper Crew VIP Discord, where we give the dang trade setups every single day during our 3 times a day live streams with our instructors. Thriving trading community. Make sure to check it out at jasoncaspertrading.com. .com. But I wish I could make it .com, CALM. Because honestly, when you're trading, you should be calm. You should be calm, guys. You should be calm. The real PG, he says, look at Casper or else. Or else what, bro? You're gonna send your killer dog to get me? The real PG is gonna send his killer dog to get me. I'm scared. Oh no, it's got me! Alright, we'll take a little look at Casper. Casper. We'll take a little look at Casper. Should we look at Casper? Guys, let me know in the chat. Should I take a look at Casper after the real PG just threatened me? Did he just threaten me? He says that's how you get his attention. You gotta threaten him. What do you guys think? Yo, shout out to Kelly Kellum. He says Kelly Calm, short for Kelly Kellum. That's true, bro. Shout out to Kelly Kellum. Guys, if you're not following Kelly Kellum on YouTube, well, you're missing out, all right? You're missing out. All right, we gotta hit up our, we do have to look at Caspa because of our super chat. And we also have to give a major shout out to Jaff Crypto. All right, shout out to Jaff Crypto. Yeah, we'll look at Caspa on the monthly, all right? Let's look at Caspa. Caspa. All right, we're loading it up, baby. We're loading it up. All right, we got to load it on up. Thank you so much to everybody who sent the super chats. Like, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. It means a lot to me. It's still weird that I get super chats, you know? Still don't really feel like a YouTuber, if you know what I mean. All right, let's see here. So we've got that support resistance flip. Let's put on market Cipher B. Momentum wave starting to come. We got a little bit of bull div here on the weekly. Money flow getting higher. The monthly's hard to see, really. But I would say this. We have a support resistance flip. We've come down to support a bullish divergence on the weekly here. BitBoy butt cheeks, double green dot. The Big Ben Armstrong green dots here. Now we've gotten a nice bounce, like locally. We could say that locally, you know, we have our high, our low, our lower high, our lower low, our lower high, our lower low, our lower high, our lower low. Now we've officially made a higher high, taking out 2 of these lower highs. And we're getting a retracement. Looks like we're retracing back into the key Fibonacci zone. Let's pull the fib from the low to the high and put on our altcoin pocket, which is the 786 and the 0.886. All right, this is our altcoin golden pocket. It's the 886 and the 786, not the 618 and the 786. And you can see that we are getting a bounce. Shout out to Lemon from AG with the super sticker. And yeah, it looks like this next momentum wave on the weekly could give us a big push. We are seeing also nice looking 2-day action here. Although this VWAP doesn't look the best, in my opinion, this is kind of looking like we might see just continuation like this. But here's the deal. I would say that because of the sign of strength that we've seen and because we're bouncing from the pocket here, this is not something out of the question. Considering this is our sideways range, we've come to support, we've changed market structure locally, we're bouncing from the key fib area, and our sideways range is obviously this, right? This is obviously our clearly defined highs and lows. We've come to the lows, we've seen a sign of strength, we've gotten a retest, we see bullish divergences, continuation patterns. You know, this is a valid setup here, 5.5 to 1 risk reward, right? So it is valid for sure. Am I thoroughly convinced? I'd say I'd be 60%. 60% that we're going to continue up from here. 60%. You know? But that's just because, honestly, I don't really know much about Caspa. But objectively speaking, look, this is a nice level. This is a really nice level. This is actually a really nice level. We've given back all this. We filled this gap here. Yeah, it actually does look pretty nice to me. I ain't gonna lie. All right, shout out to AG, a lemon character and a baby lemon blowing a party horn while marching. Shout out to Tim. He says, God bless you, my friend. Tim, may the Lord Jesus bless you as well. And God bless you all. You guys are the best. I love each and every one of you. Thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it. Yeah, shout out to Sunshine Girl. Shout out to Crypto Crank. God bless you, Crypto Crank. E3 says, you look like a YouTuber, my man. Do I? Okay, cool. Cool. Appreciate that, you know? I feel like, yeah, I guess so. You're right. I do look like a YouTuber, huh? How could I deny that face from his YouTuber status? You know? Alright, Lightbot's 400x long. Is that true? Is that true? You met Satoshi yesterday, says Jackie Boy. He was talking about buying expensive things. Shout out to HFG. God bless you, my bro. Can we reveal PP coin? Well, I did. I forget if I posted it or not, but I did just do TA on PP coin. Posted it in the Casper Crew VIP Discord. If I haven't posted it, I'm going to post it. I have to check, actually. I think I posted it. Let's see, baby. Let's see if this Bitcoin can't get the little break when New York opens in about half an hour. Lightbot says, just kidding. Okay, good. You're not 400x long. Can Cardano recover? Yeah. Absolutely, Ben. Cardano can recover. Absolutely. Shout out to Tanmay Agarwal. This is a confusing comment, but Felipe Collins says, I met Satoshi's wife yesterday while you met her husband. Assuming that Satoshi is a she with a husband and a wife. Shout out to Crypto Crank with the super chat. Thank you again for inspiration. I preached on my own channel to watch your course. Sessions 1 through 18, we're growing and killing it. Shout out to the Casper Crew and the Cranksters. Guys, shout out to Crypto Crank. Make sure to go check out Crypto Crank's YouTube channel. A legitimately great trader. Go check out Crypto Crank, alright? Shout out to Crypto Crank. Much love to you, my bro. God bless you, man. Much love to you and God bless you. Sniper Garrigan is Satoshi. Okay, okay. Looks like Bitcoin is attempting to break, once again, the golden pocket. We have half an hour until New York Open. Actually, it's 9 o'clock now, which means there is a VIP live stream beginning in the Casper Crew VIP Discord right now, where you are going to get the juiciest analysis live. All right, so that being said, I'm going to head out. If you want more low time frame analysis and trade entries, go head over to jasoncaspertrade.com. May God bless you all. In Jesus' name, and I will see you guys in the next stream. Peace.